Okay, so at this condition, at this corner, there's a couple of things going on I want you to see first and foremost. Here, you kind of see where this is poking through the building right there, like there's a hole in the wall. People, what that is, if you go back in here, right, and you see this wall right here, right, what we can do is a number of things. If you simply pull that back into here and it joins there, that would go away. Another way that that could have been prevented in the beginning, oops, that could have been prevented in the beginning was to do what? Was to go in here and use the what? The disallowed join feature. And we talked about that in a couple of our other lessons in the past few lectures, so I don't need to go through that again, okay? But let's look at another condition up here of what's happening. Look at this corner here. Now from the outside, for all intents and purposes, all looks fairly well at this corner. The brick turns the corner and it keeps going. But here at level 1, right, I'm kind of just dragging this tab over. It's like this wall is diving into this wall, and I've got another piece of wall left over here. Here's a feature you probably haven't used, or I'm guessing you haven't used before. Up here, there's a feature, it's called wall joins. It shows how walls come together, okay? So if I click on wall joins, and I click on this corner, watch what happens. It puts a box out there. Now, if I made a mistake in doing that, I could hit escape, escape, and I'd be out of the command. All right? But I'm going to go to wall joins, and I'm going to click on this area. And notice, if you look at the configuration, and I'm going to zoom in to where the box is, you watch the configuration while I click the next button up here. Watch this. Next. You see how that line's moving? Next. Next. And again, it's moving. Now, what would I do in this instance first? Watch what happens when I delete that little nugget of a wall right there, okay? All right? That wall turns the other way, and because that does what? Because that wall wraps on the exterior, you see that turns the other way. So let's see if we can get it to turn the way we want it to. Let's go to wall joins, click this area, right? And go next, next, next. Still not doing what we want it to do. So what could we do in this instance? What if we click on this wall, click here, in this instance, let's say that we don't want to wrap. Let's say we want to put none, okay? Now if we just do a regular trim from here to here, now that wall turns into what we want. But we still have one more problem. Watch what happens if I grab this wall and I pull, right? I can pull that back and I can right click and say disallow join and drag it to here, and now I'm okay, right? I didn't lose any of my what? I didn't lose any of my rooms, because watch what happens if I was to accidentally pull this wall back. Oh, wait a minute. Remember this from the other day. Now we've got that whole redundant room thing going on. So you have to be careful that doesn't happen. Let's do that one more time back on this corner, right? What do we have going on? Well, it's a good way we can use wall joints to figure that out and look at the next condition here, right? You see what this wall is doing? So it's showing us what that wall can do now. Well, in this instance, we know we're connected there. We can just click this and say disallow join and drag it back to here, and we're okay. Let's look at another way that this wall joins can help us. What if we went down to our vending area, and let's say in the vending area I click on this wall and I put create similar out here. Now, not super important that you get this absolutely exactly right, but I'm going to start somewhere out here. You see where it grabs here? I'm just going to draw a line down here 45 degrees to about here, all right? And then I'm going to draw a line over some distance. Then I'm going to click on this and I'm going to say mirror, draw axis, and from the midpoint of this wall, I'm going to draw down, and now I've got that looking like that, right? So I'm going to go ahead and trim this here and here, and then I'm going to trim this wall here, here, and here and here. Now we know in real life we would never create a sharp corner like that, would we? Or at least we would try not to, unless we were trying to do something avant-garde or something more modern or kind of just off the wall, right? We would want to fix that condition. So our wall join tool is a really nice way to help us do that. So if we click on wall joins and we put the box there, notice that we can miter that like that, or we can square it off, right? Hit escape, escape. We're still in that command, so we can scroll out, go over here, do that again, and we can say square that off and escape, escape. We're out of the command, and now what have we done? We've put a wall in here, right, in this vending area. Now, notice because we have a room separation line, nothing's happening there. But if I was to click on that room separation line, watch what happens, and delete it, you see how that space grows to the walls, right? I'll undo that. All right. At the same time, I want you to understand how we can square those walls off if that was actually what we were trying to do there. Now, in this particular instance, do we need those walls in there? Of course we don't. But I wanted you to basically see how that command could be adjusted and actually show that wall at the proper condition with the wall join command. Okay, so now that we understand a little bit more about the wall join command, I think that's going to be enough for the day. I just want you to kind of draw a condition like that here, and when I have you upload this model, I just want to see that you can use the wall joining command. Actually, I want to do one more thing in one more video with the roof and show you something. So go ahead and work these conditions at your corners, work this condition here, and remember, why doesn't this wall look just like that one, right? Well, what if I went in here and used the match type properties and said, match this to, oh, it doesn't let me select it. It doesn't make it look shaded. Again, what is the problem? Escape, escape. This, if I hover, tab, and click, and I right click and I go to override graphics and view by element, right? You see how in this instance, I want to change this to by material. And now they all look the same. Again, you would have to do that with all of these walls that were changed in here to make them look normal. Even though that's a generic 5-inch, this is also a generic 5-inch. They look different because their properties have been changed by element and not by category.